In 2019, Yasir Qadhi expressed the theory that Yajuj and Majuj are some sort of a zombie apocalypse. The theory was so ridiculous that both Muslim speakers and non-Muslim critics criticized him for it. Excuse me, mocked him for it. Finally, 3 years later, Yasir Qadhi backtracked and referred to the theory as a joke. Unfortunately, that retraction won't do because there are some people that wholeheartedly accepted this joke and now defend the theory. You're watching Farid Responds, and I'm going to break down the Yajuj and Majuj zombie joke. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before even getting into the clips, I'd like you guys to know that the full versions can be found in the description below. Check it out yourself for the full context. First of all, to give you some context, here's a clip from Yasir Qadhi's original video in which he expresses this theory for the first time.
What if the concept is there that these groups of people are human but not quite human? And they're doing all of these things, and everything just started clicking in my head. Check, 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 check. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. You will never find me saying this in a lecture, and here I am in a lecture saying it. But in any case, Allahu A'lam, frankly, it makes more sense than believing that 1 billion people are somewhere in Timbuktu or Zimbabwe or some faraway land. It makes more sense to me. Because Allahu A'lam at the end of time, also, yes, the key point, they shall die the death of one man. How will they get gotten rid of? Allah will send a disease, some type of antivirus, some type of vaccine. I'm just saying what my friend said. Because the hadith mentions this explicitly, does it not? Allah will send something that will get them in the neck, and they will die the death of one person. So when my friend kept on going over all of these points, my laughter turned to a serious contemplation. And I said, but how do we tell the public this? Then I said, I'll just project it onto my friend, which it is true, it is coming from him, and I'll take myself out the picture so that as you laugh at my friend, but the laughter will slowly turn to contemplation, and deep down inside you'll realize this makes a lot more sense.
Now, even though we find Yasir and his crowd laughing at this clip, there are a few statements that he made that imply that he was absolutely serious about what he was saying.
And everything just started clicking in my head. Check, 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 check. My laughter turned to a serious contemplation so that as you laugh at my friend, but the laughter will slowly turn to contemplation, and deep down inside you'll realize this makes a lot more sense.
I think many of them, I talked to a few people, and a lot of them, they're not really against the opinion whether it's zombies or anything.
Deja vu, this is exactly what happened with Shaykh al-Sa'di. And his views and my first view are essentially the same, that they're modern people and their descendants will come and they'll do something. And I posited two views, by the way. The second one is a possibility, but it wasn't my main one. The first one, as I said, was very similar to what Shaykh al-Sa'di said. In any case, my position is very clear. I didn't say necessarily that scenario 2 is true. I simply gave two scenarios, and I said that maybe there's a third, but these two are plausible in light of the Quran and Sunnah and in light of what we know about the modern world.
So
A couple of days ago, though, he said this.
As a part of that lecture, and on a very humorous note, because again, you're teaching a live audience, and when you're teaching a live audience, sometimes you say something to, make them giggle or laugh or whatnot. I mentioned in passing a theory that was meant to lighten the mood, and it was very clearly meant as a facetious joke. And if you watch the lecture and you know my style of talking, and you listen even to the disclaimers in that very lecture, it is very clear that what I'm saying is meant meant to bring some levity to a very serious topic, which is actually a method, a mechanism that all good teachers employ when they're teaching. Crack a little bit of a slight joke and a funny anecdote. And, to make somebody smile or laugh during a lecture, it always allows them to interact and to concentrate better. No one in my community misunderstood that I was seriously positing such an opinion. And it was clear, very clear, that it was said in some light-hearted humor. And in the lecture, I explicitly said that my own opinion is that of the famous ulama who made the hadith weak, and therefore Ya'juj and Ma'juj are not trapped behind a wall. However, as is typically the case, some people online, they jumped on the levity and the semi-humorous joke in interpretation, and they took it as a serious claim and started accusing me of holding, obviously bizarre and ludicrous opinions. I have never dignified them with the response, and even today, I shall not actually dignify them with an explicit response, because honestly, anybody who listens to that lecture, I'm a human being. Sometimes I make a mistake. I'll admit a mistake was made, a wording was used that should not be used. However, this particular issue, there is nothing to clarify. You listen to the lecture and it is 110% crystal clear. Honestly, the people who spread that misinterpretation about me, I seek Allah's refuge, but either they don't speak English or there's a disease in the heart, one of the two. There is no third alternative.
Unfortunately, multiple people from your own masjid totally believed that you were being serious, according to your own student. Actually, it seemed like he believed it himself. I'm sorry, Anzar, but it seems like you either have a disease in your heart or you simply don't speak English. But don't worry, you're not the only one. Over 70% of those that participated in the poll that I had up yesterday also have a disease in their hearts or just don't understand English either. However, let's take this at face value and assume that Yasir Qadhi is being truthful, that it was a joke, and that we all just don't speak English or we have a disease in our hearts, because we're advised to have husn al-dhan. So let's have that husn al-dhan. Yasir, you should be aware, I'm assuming you're aware, that's completely inappropriate to make a joke about this subject. Excuse me, it's completely haram to make a joke about this subject. This is a matter of deen, Yasir. Worst case scenario is people come across this joke and think that you're being serious and actually accept the theory that you've presented. Here's a screenshot that I came across in your comments section. I wish you didn't have to defend yourself from the joke you made. Anyone with a brain know there is validity to it given what is clearly happening today with certain science experiments. So you see, Yasir, it doesn't matter if you bury the joke. People are gonna go out of their way to defend it. You are in a position of responsibility, and people look up to you. Don't you know, Ya Yasir, that some people will accept whatever you say? It doesn't matter if it goes against the Quran and Sunnah. They're gonna say things like, but Dr. Shaykh Yasir Qadhi said this. There's no way that he'd go against the Quran and the Sunnah. Who are you, you random YouTuber, talking about my Shaykh, critiquing him publicly? How dare you call him out for making a mockery of the deen? Look at your position. Do you feel that it's fitting for you to be making jokes about something that the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught? Let's leave that stuff for the kuffar and the zanadiqa and the murtaddeen. In any case, this is not the type of content that we expect from Muslim speakers that we take our religion from. So who's going to clean this mess up? You have to clean this mess up, because I'm not gonna be friggin' making a video refuting the zombie apocalypse theory. This is the type of garbage you put in the minds of people. You clean this up.